Hi, here for a weekly dose of Amstrad Action. Starting issue 31 tonight, April 1988. Still just £1.25. I'm sure that will last. The CPC Future Brightens special analysis of the state of the CPCs. Features that will light up your CPC. Games, reviews of ATF, Druid II, Flying Shark, and many more. Many more. Hardware, Amstrad's newest printer reviewed. Word processing, handy hints for the top word processors. Programming, fascinating type and variant of the 20-question quiz. Plus, CPM and public domain software bars guide the top 50 games. Prize questionnaire, reveal your true personality, cheat mode pokes, adventure programming, and much, much more. Whew. May the force go with you. Could they see that? You'll need it. The reflexes and powers of a mere mortal will not be enough if you accept the challenge of these 4 chart-topping arcade conversions together for the first time in one package. Gauntlet and the Deeper Dungeons maps. Enter a world of monsters and mazes. Follow the paths of mystery and combat, searching for food to increase your health. Monsters and legions of enemies will bar your way. However, they're not your only opponents in this quest for food, treasure, and magic potions. The other players are also on the trail of the same good bounty. Roadrunner. Cartoon's most elusive character has finally been trapped in this comic all-action extravaganza that recreates those nail-biting chases and the fast-moving excitement. Overcome all the dirty tricks Wile E. Coyote can throw at you with ease, agility and grace, and a haughty beep beep. Otherwise, sorry, goodnight, and burp burp. Oh no. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Pick up your trilby and trusty bullwhip and don the mantle of the legendary Indiana Jones. Prepare yourself for your most dangerous adventure yet. You will call on your reserves of courage, strength, and skill to storm the evil Temple of Doom and rescue the imprisoned children and the magical stones of Sankara. Metrocross. Are you the one in a million who can think in microseconds, not minutes? If so, Metrocross is for you. A checkered floor riddled with potholes, a barrage of obstacles that hinder your progress and no-go areas that bring you to a standstill make this race against time increasingly impossible. Ooh. Yeah, and I had this compilation. A lot of good fun with that too. Heat's on in Skate City. 720 degrees, the ultimate skateboard simulation, the ultimate maneuver. So a lineup is what we get to look forward to. Reaction. The postbag reveals rampant rabbitings about Z180 processors, harmful VDUs, radio hams, reader challenges, and all things Danish. Helpline. Don't despair. Help is at hand. The helplines can solve just about any problem. Go ahead. Make their day. The Screenmaster. A review of the new program from KDS that allows you to create large posters and signs. Ooh. CPM software, a new regular section in which we explore the delights of CPM software, its commands, and public domain software. And the games, of course, the all important games, Flying Shark, ATF, Enlightenment, that's Druid II, Jet Bike Simulator, Terramix, Mark III, and The Pilgrim. Oh no, that's not a game, it's the adventure games section. Shelf Help. In our feature on the current health of the CPCs, David Ward, chairman of Ocean, reveals his plans for extending the shelf life of computer games. In the past, games have had a shelf life of a matter of weeks, placing immense demands on the programmers and software houses to produce them quickly. This inevitably leads to rushed jobs, missed deadlines, and great disappointment from the public as the results. Ward's commitment to spending more time developing fewer games each year is marvellous news and shows the way for the rest of the industry. Reducing the number of titles produced and increasing their quality will please everyone. Software houses because they can concentrate their efforts and maximise sales, distributors and chain stores because they'll have fewer titles to handle and no cheap dumping of old software. And most importantly, to the public, because they should get much improved game quality and less agonising decisions about which ones to choose. All this may sound like so much marketing hype to you, so the proof of the pudding is going to be in the gameplay. Ocean's recent titles have shown consistently high quality, and soon-to-be-seen titles like Platoon should also reflect the increased effort. In the long run, it's not just shelf life that has to be extended, but the game life as well. The two go hand in hand. Let's hope the rest of the software giants follow Ward and Ocean's lead for forming a bright and long-lived tomorrow. Bob. The Amstrad Computer Show is still going. Reaction. It's a fantastic upgrade. Everything is microseconds faster now. Look at it all. All the lights that go blink. All the blinking lights. Sure, it does something. My brain hurts. I thought I would try to explain the radiation from our monitors that gives some people headaches. The way we see things is fairly simple. Light falls on the back of our eyes, the retina, and is interpreted by the brain. However, there is something called persistence of vision. This means that if you look at something bright for a short time, then close your eyes, you'll still be able to see the light afterwards. As most people know, televisions are not moving pictures, but are in fact many pictures being shown one after the other to give the effect of movement. About 50 pictures per second are shown. However, the pictures that to move as our eyes can only detect flashes of 25 Hz or less. Oh no, we can't see more than 25 Hz at a time. Oh no. What we tell people that have 120 Hz monitors these days. The brain still knows that the picture is flashing, and it is continual annoyance that causes headaches and sore eyes. Fluorescent lights also cause this to happen, but less frequently, as they flash about 100 times per second. Oh, so it's more higher frame rate is better then. I don't know. So perhaps someone who has a screen filter would like to comment on how effective they are. The only explanation I can think of for the filter to work was for it to cut down on flicker. Incidentally, for those who may wonder why headaches are not caused by televisions but are by VDUs, think how close you sit to your monitor and how close to your TV. On a 16-bit machine issue, I would love one, but only if it was the traditional Alan Sugar price. However, on the compatibility side of things, surely Amstrad could follow Commodore's example. On a Commodore 128, you have a command Go 64. This emulates the Commodore 64 perfectly until the machine is switched off and on again. All games that work on the C64 will therefore work on the C128. If Amstrad brought out a 16-bit machine, surely the commands Go 464 and Go 6128 would not be too expensive or difficult to implement. The Commodore 64 is not a 16-bit machine. Commodore 128 isn't 16-bit, if I remember correctly. Also, the same 3-inch drive could be retained, as well as 7 and 8-bit printer ports, and all the other goodies you find on 16-bit machines. With this system, you still have the power and flexibility of the 16-bit technology, but also the enormous market of the previous 464, 664, and 6128s. No dissatisfied customers! Gavin Manning, London. After all that lot, my brain hurts. It's all the Go 6128 idea. It's interesting, but it would entail putting 2 sets of chips on one machine, bumping up the cost considerably. The C64 and C128 are based on the same chip. The C128 is effectively just an upgraded machine. A 16-bit machine is totally different, and you couldn't use a 16-bit chip to run CPC programs without an awful lot of expensive, time-consuming fiddling around. too many legs. Since the Hitachi HD64180, or Zilog Z180, processor chip was mentioned some months ago in AA, a number of people have written about the possibility of upgrading the CPC with it. Having had experience with the chip, I'm afraid that there's no possibility of it working as a plug-in replacement for the Z80 on a CPC. This is both because of the machine's internal architecture and because it has 24 additional legs. I mean, pins, right? Whatever. Nevertheless, if a bit of extra hardware it could be made to work, it would give a minimum speed increase of 4/3 just by being there. Here are a few hints and warnings. The 64180 reserves 64 I/O addresses for its internal special function registers, and although these do not overlap the CPC I/O addresses, they are all accessed with high address 0. Anyone familiar with CPC programming will see that because of the extremely primitive decoding used on the machine, and access to any special function register will operate on every external I/O port. This includes the printer port, the gate array, and the disk system, which will have disastrous results. But there may be a way. To use a 64180, this is getting on a bit here. To use a 64180, it would be necessary to build up a small PCB to carry the processor with some logic and plug this in where the Z80 belongs for possibly into the expansion port. The PCB would also carry line drivers for the two on-chip RS-232 channels. The logic would monitor A8 to A15 to detect internal I/O accesses and inhibit IORQ when they occur. Clocking the processor could be problematic, as unlike the Z80, it needs a signal at twice its running frequency, so the plain Z80 clock won't do. Again, this could be overcome with logic. It may also be possible to run the 64180 off its own independent clock, but to do so might cause synchronization problems with the video gate array. This may happen anyway because the cycle timing of the 64180 is different from the Z80. That's why it's faster. And sure, it's not a trivial job, but not impossible. I'm too busy, but I'd be interested to hear from anyone else wanting to have a go. Perhaps it would be a good project for one of the hardware add-on companies like DK Tronics or RAM. Peter Hand, Portsmouth. This project sounds like it would divert more talent and resources than NASA's space program, but I'll bet someone's game enough to have a go. If you work it all out, we'd love to hear about it. All I do is type in Go 6128. Go away. Attack of the mutant goats. Apparently eating the monitor. Yeah. He's really getting the hang of that game now. Dallas, the computer game. It struck oil. Impossible takes a little longer. I'd be very grateful if you could send me details of all games available for the Amstrad. John Williams, Roehampton. I can take a joke. In fact, I haven't stopped laughing since I read this. You can always buy all the back issues we've got available. Alternatively, you could pay me large sums of money to spend a few days researching. Otherwise, you'll just have to make do with Action Test, a monthly look at what's new in the games field. I know every single game ever. Oof. Do the ROM shuffle. Could you please tell me why some software switches ROMs on? I have found it to be a real nuisance. And some software will not run with ROMs present. When I software switch them off, the program switches them back on again, and then crashes because ROMs are present. The only way to get around this problem is to physically remove the ROMs, which is inconvenient to say the least, and produces unnecessary wear and tear on the edge connector. Mick Ellick, Bristol. New protection systems have been produced to detect black boxes, like the Multiface 2. If they detect ROMs plugged in, they crash the program, stopping you using such devices. Even now, this looks like it's being countered by the black box producers, but I dare say the battle will continue to and fro for a while yet. You can, sir. I'm currently writing a computer-aided design artificial intelligence language. I am trying to compile a list of keywords and routines, and I would like your readers to send me phrases, hints, suggestions, routines, etc. to include in the language. I would particularly welcome ideas from anyone who has experience in Lisp, Prolog, or is interested in artificial intelligence, and anyone who would like to help design or program routines. Cormac McGoffey, Cushendall, County Antrim. Rebel without a game. I am writing to enlist your help in tracking down software to my taste. I have purchased many games on the recommendations of your action test, but from Acrojet through Colossus 4 Chess to Gauntlet, Cerevo's World, etc. Only Rebel Star has given me any lasting pleasure. Far superior to any other game I have played in any price bracket. I would love to know of any similar games and or any programmed by the same team. Unfortunately, however good a game is, you eventually have to admit you have exhausted its possibilities. John Osborne, Taunton. Unfortunately, Rebel Star is only a game by Julian Gollop to appear on the Amstrad. It's very difficult to pinpoint what sort of games will be to your taste. It sounds like you might enjoy war games and strategy games. Without more information on what you like about a game, I can't be more specific. This is what reviews are for, not to recommend software blindly to everyone, but to provide information on a game so that you can decide whether you will like it or not. We think we're reasonably objective about games, but there will be differences of taste for games. Quest for Truth. Well, SSI, authors of many fine war games and simulations, be converting games for the Amstrad. I think there is a lot that would be popular. What's the difference between the Amstrad DMP 2000 and DMP 3160? And would the DMP 3160 work on my 464? If I bought the chip to convert my 464 to a 618, could I use a 256K silicon disk instead of 64K RAM? Andrew Brown, West Germany. SSI are currently working with US Gold to convert their role-playing games, including Dungeons & Dragons. RPM writes, the 2000 was the first Amstrad printer to appear with a sleek front-loading system. The 3160 is of a similar design, costs more, £228.85 compared to the 2000 price tag of £159, is IBM compatible and marginally faster. It's also cream-coloured. The 2000 matches the CPC's colour scheme. Both DMP machines work with your 464. But if you can do without the extra speed, and who needs IBM graphics characters, then the 2000 is the wisest choice. Although we don't have a 256K silicon disk in the office, we can see no reason why this should not work with your setup. Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons games. Yeah. US Gold got around to two of them, and neither of them are role-playing games. We'll see those in the future. Helpline. Alright, onto the news. Concern grows over cheap imported discs. Aren't they all made in Japan anyway? Over the past 6 months, there has been a steady influx of cheap 3-inch discs from the Far East. Yeah, aren't they normally made in Japan? The average price for 10 is £15, and in bulk quantities, the price per disc can be less than £1. Msoft or Mexcel discs retail for around $24.95 in boxes of 10. In higher quantities, this comes down to about £1.50 each. The cheap discs are recognisable by a circular pattern stamped into their plastic surround. They also come in a variety of colours: black, blue, and light brown. Ooh, poop coloured. Zone 4, located at Welwyn Garden City in Hertz, import the discs directly from the Far East. Sandra Herbert told us, as part of the quality control procedure, the discs arrive from the Far East pre-formatted. They come in two forms, either single-sided or double-sided. We then sell them on as either unbranded or under our own label Mimic. Oops. Although high street chains frown upon such discs and stick rigidly to Amsoft or Maxell, several software houses are adopting the budget 3 inches. Mark Norsworthy, production manager at the duplicating firm Interceptor, estimates that they get through 25,000 budget discs a month. Out of these, he said, we have under 1% of rejects. Norsworthy did admit that the discs were of lower quality, but as the market was so competitive, he couldn't afford Amsoft or Maxell. If you give people the choice of paying £1.50 for Amsoft or £1 for these other discs, they'll go for the cheaper ones every time. Ocean's chairman David Ward held a different view. He told us that Ocean didn't use cheap discs and were unlikely to do so in the future. They are of extremely low quality, and it wouldn't be worth our time or trouble having to replace so many faulty goods. Mike Mordecai at Amsoft was unaware of the cheap discs, and when quizzed as to whether these imports were affecting sales of Amsoft discs, replied, "We've noticed no drop in sales. If people want reliable discs, they'll pick Amsoft every time. Of the cheap discs we've had in the office, these have been amongst the faults demonstrated. A disc only works on one machine, horrible noises when being read, totally unreadable, and no indication on whether they're single or double-sided. Some discs have worked okay though, as yet we don't think we've tested a large enough sample to be sure of the results. If you have problems with any disc, return it to whoever you obtained it. If large numbers of returns start occurring due to faulty discs, you can bet the software houses will sort things out fairly sharpish." Low-cost colour printer Star Micronics of Ealing in London have released a colour 9-pin dot matrix printer for under £260. The LC10 allows 7 colour printing, has 8 resident fonts, and a printing speed of 144 characters per second in draft, reduced to 36 in near-letter quality. Standard functions are selected from the control panel. Fonts, Courier, Sans Serif, and Orator, for example, print pictures, Poker, Elite, and Condensed, and print quality. Forward and reverse microfeeds, self-test, and hex dump facilities are also accessible from the panel. Plus Assembler. Pyramid, responsible for many of the programs to appear under Gremlin's Discovery label, have announced plans to update the assembler and disassembler package. Pyridev, the enhanced version, is to be called Pyridev Plus. Lars Osterland at Pyramid said that this time they would be marketing the product themselves instead of Gremlin. The original Pyridev, released over 2 years ago, works from Amsdos. It's a machine code programming tool. Pyridev will work only on the machines running CPM Plus 6128 or 464 with extra memory. The new version will have a significantly faster editor, symbolic monitor, better disk handling, and an integral disk copier. The price for Pyridev Plus is set at £24.50. Existing owners of Pyridev can upgrade for £14.50. Show report. Soren's Master Mouse. Does it look that different from the AMX mouse? It even says here, akin to the older AMX mouse. Double-sided 5.25-inch drive. Yep. New portable from Amstrad. Amstrad's new portable PC rang in at around £460. Amstrad's new portable PC machines, the PPC 512 and PPC 640, were available for the first time at the 9th official Amstrad Computer Show. Portable PC clones normally start at around the £1,500 mark. Amstrad have managed to bring the price down to a staggering £458 for the most basic model. The portables are available in 2 forms, the 512K version and the 640K model. The latter has a built-in modem for communication via the telephone network. Each has 1 or 2 compact 720K 3.5-inch disk drives. The computer runs on either battery or mains. The sockets at the back include hard disk expansion, RS-232 serial parallel, and 9-pin D for connection to a standard PC monitor. When folded up, the machine looks like a sewing machine. Yeah, it's got a handle and everything. When pulling back the lid, uncovers a small full-size keyboard and small liquid crystal display. Processor in 8086-2, running at 8 MHz. Speed demon. The portables are possibly the most IBM compatible that Amstrad have produced to date. The 2 display modes used are the original IBM standards. little tiny monitor with probably got a terrible, terrible refresh rate. It'll blur like crazy. Drops out. Areola Soft UK have announced that they're pulling out of the computer software market. All of their labels are now up for grabs by other software houses. A spokesperson for Areola Soft said they expect them to be sold in a couple of months. Any games should still be available, though, through the usual retail outlets for the time being. Electronic music. Rob Hubbard, the freelance music artist, has joined Electronic Arts on a full-time basis. Rob is responsible for the music on over 60 computer games in the last 4 years, including the games like Monty on the Run and Skate or Die. Get a picture even. Electronic Arts makes the right noises for Hubbard. CPM on ROM. Graduate Software from Bristol have unearthed a method for placing CPM Plus on ROM. This means there will be no waiting for CPM Plus to boot up, as it will be there instantly when summoned. Graduate require a CPM Plus master disk as proof of purchase and £24.95. In return, they supply 2 ROMs containing a personalised version of CPM Plus. Okay. New releases. Sequel to Driller. After the recent success of Driller, Incentive are working on a sequel called The Dark Side. It's not due for release until May, but until then, here's a little background. The Dark Side is set 200 years after the events in Driller. The Kitars have built a super laser that can be used to blast away Evath. It's powered by energy from the sun, and when it's stored enough power, it will fire. A huge matrix of energy collecting devices must be disabled, so the weapon can't fire. This time you're exploring on foot, mainly, but you do have a jetpack that has limited fuel. There are also the tank-like Plexars to hinder you in a race against time. The price has gone down a little this time at $9.95 on tape and $14.95 on disc. More Mercenary. Novagen are releasing a second dataset for Mercenary called The Second City on cassette. Previously, The Second City was only available on disc with the original game. The cassette version will cost you £5.95. Platoon. Platoon, the game of the film, has arrived on the streets from Ocean. It's time to coincide with the release of the film on video. Like the film, it doesn't focus on the glories of war, but on the tragedy. The slogan is, the first casualty of war is innocence. It's priced at $9.95 on tape and $14.95 on disc. Spyring. Active have just released the Spy vs. Spy trilogy of games on an unsuspecting public. Spy vs. Spy was a rave game back in issue 3, and the 2 follow-up games, The Island Caper and Arctic Antics, were never released on the Amstrad. All 3 as a compilation for $9.95 on tape and $14.95 on disc. It's good value for money. X-Rated. The Mastertronic Added Dimension range has been revamped as the Mad X range. The difference is that in Mad X, you get another game on the B-side of the cassette. Not all of the games will be new. Motos, Spellbound, and Emerald are 3 oldies but goodies. But at least you're getting 2 games for the same price of $2.99. Running Around the Rim. Rim Runner by Palace Software should be in the shops as you read this. It's by Steve Brown, the programmer of Barbarian. And in it, you would charge around the scrolling landscape, blasting away at an invading army of arachnoids. I bet they're related to spiders. A Fighting Machine. Cybernoid, the Fighting Machine, is the new game from Houston. It's a shoot 'em up by the programmer that brought you the games like Ixalan and Equinox. Raphael Kiko, I don't know. It'll cost you $9.95 on tape and $14.95 on disc. Also by Houston is Nebulous, an inventive derivative of the platform game theme but packed with original features. It's due for a late April release and will cost $9.95 on tape and $14.95 on disc. Grand Prix. Nigel Mansell's Grand Prix from Martech has just hit the streets. It's a 3D racing game in the tradition of pole position. Next month, we'll have a full review of the game. It costs $9.99 on tape and $14.99 on disc. RAM Joystick. RAM Electronics have announced the new Delta joystick. The Hans-based firm, the Music Machine and all DK Tronics products under their wing, Say the stick features 6 high-quality micro switches, 2 fire buttons including auto fire, and a sleek design for smoother and more accurate play. The Delta costs £9.99, and I bet that auto fire does not work. Kings of the Game Pack. Game, set, and match. More games! Featuring weightlifting, basketball, soccer, vault, swimming, giant slalom, springboard, diving, ping pong, pistol shooting, cycling, shooting, archery, triple jump, rowing, penalties, ski jump, tug of war, tennis, baseball, boxing, squash, snooker, and pool. 10 hit games over 20 exciting events. Magnificent 7 special bumper pack. All these games in a special pack for the price of one, plus Yeah Kung Fu free! Free! $9.95 cassette, $17.95 disc. What does this one cost? $12.95, $17.95. And live ammo, featuring Army Moves, Green Beret, The Great Escape, Rambo First Blood Part 2, and Top Gun. Don't miss live ammo. $9.95 cassette, $14.95 disc. CBC, The Facts, an in-depth investigation by Richard Montero and Bob Wade reveals that far from being in a state of crisis, the CBC computers are alive, well, and flourishing. The word according to Amstrad. He spoke to Mike Mordecai, software sales manager, and began quizzing him about the current shortage of DDI1 disk drives. Probably explains why I never saw one. Was this an indication that Amstrad were no longer interested in CPCs? Mordecai explains, everything at Amstrad has recently been split. Computers, software, audio, and so on. Unfortunately, peripherals were forgotten. We had large orders of the DDI disk drive. Supplies ran out before anyone noticed. Peripherals are now under my jurisdiction. Although it takes time for the manufacture and delivery of any product, we're expecting 5,500 drives for early March. Yeah. Mordecai's words shrug off any suggestion that Amstrad are about to leave the CPC for dead. After all, you don't buy in over 5,000 drives which can only be used on the 464 if you're about to stop producing the machine. Okay. Well, this is David Ward again. I spoke to him a lot on this issue. Probably the most influential individual in the games industry is David Ward, chairman of Ocean. He told us that Amstrad software sales currently corner a healthy 16% of the UK market. In terms of units sold, the CPC market is strongest in Britain, with France following close behind. The CPC is still well behind, software sales-wise, of the Spectrum Plus 3, Amiga, and Atari ST. It doesn't appear to be a slackening in demand, as Ward put it. As long as there is a demand, and there is, we shall keep supporting the CPC. Ocean has recently modified their policy on producing games rather than having a quickly produced product that has a shelf life of a few. We issued this in the beginning. The idea, said Ward, is to create a better product that will sell in larger quantities, and as there will be fewer titles, the distributor will have an easier choice. Yeah, okay. Recent titles like Gryzor, Combat School, Whizball, Renegade, and Matchday 2 show that Ocean have succeeded in raising their standards to a very high levels. You get more K per penny from the multi-load games, and much more attention has been paid to gameplay, graphics, and sound. When we questioned Ward about the possibility of a new 16-bit machine, he replied, "There's no reason why Amstrad shouldn't release a new machine." He also thought it would be a marvellous idea, and Ocean would support the machine if one were to appear. Incentive. Ian Andrew of Incentive was very pleased with the performance of the CPC with their big game at Christmas, Driller. The CPC version accounted for 25% of the title's total sales. The Freescape system for creating 3D graphics was actually developed on a CPC, as was Driller itself. Andrew was encouraging about the future of the CPC. They're here to stay. This is reflective in Incentive's development plans, which include the CPC in conjunction with the other major computers, Commodore 64, Spectrum, and Atari ST. No Amiga. Okay. When asked whether he thought Amstrad should produce a 16-bit micro, Andrew thought it was a good move for them, especially if they used a 6800 or 8086 chip. This would enable software houses to easily convert programs to a new machine from the ST or PC. He also said it would be a nice idea to have the whole thing in one package like the CPC. Digital integration. Ilya Gerson is the chief executive of digital integration, and like Ian Andrew, he was very pleased with the performance of their latest game on the CPC. Bobsleigh has done very well indeed. He estimated that CPC games sold about half as much on the Spectrum in 64, a healthy figure. When asked about the future of the CPC, Gerson responded, "The 8-bit market may become a budget one, but not necessarily reduce in size. The future of the CPC depends on the manufacturer's marketing plans because software sold relates to new machines." He also had some positive thoughts on the idea of a 16-bit micro from Amstrad. "I would be surprised if they aren't working on something. The additional competition would be healthy and would have a downward effect on prices." He also thought it was a new and untapped market where there was a good chance of expanding the user base. Infogrames and ERE. David Crossweller is responsible for marketing products by major French software houses, Infogrames and ERE Informatique, including games like Get Dexter, Passengers on the Wind, and the Vera Cruz Affair. He was not optimistic about the future for the CPC offering. "I wouldn't say it was bright." They still keep making games though. He was more enthusiastic about the possibility of a 16-bit machine. Spectrums and CPCs account for about 60% of the market. If Amstrad don't produce a new micro, that share will be eroded. They can't let go, so I think they will launch a new machine this summer. He admired a lot of what Amstrad had done and added that in order to continue and thrive the market, needs three major players, Atari ST, Commodore Amiga being the other two. Roundup. It was bad news from Logotron Entertainment's boss, Herbert Wright. They produced a superb game, XOR, but have no further plans to produce CPC games. They're concentrating on the 16-bit market instead. Amanda Barry at Activision was more positive, confirming that all future titles will continue to be released for the CPC. It goes on for a bit. Rimrunner. From the team that brought you Barbarian, the Ultimate Warrior. Screenshots. Atari ST, Commodore 64, Amstrad CPC. Which apparently the only systems it's on. Ooh, on the peripheries, all the hardware manufacturers. Microtext, good and strong as the way sales of the Teletext tuner and adapter are going, said Tony Castle, head of Microtext. Castle maintained that people below the Teletext receiving kit after the machine had been in their possession for a while. He was confident that the future of the machine was assured and said he had noticed no reduction in sales. Our conclusions. The answer to the first question we set ourselves is a strong indication that the CPC is holding up extremely well. Most people are finding sales keeping at a healthy level, and as long as Amstrad continue to support the CPC, there's no reason for this to change. At present, the CPC computers are still being produced and are successfully sold. There is no indication from Amstrad that this will change. Indeed, the promise to bring in more disk drives is a good indicator of their continued commitment to the range. The question of a 16-bit micro is left unanswered. What does come across from talking to the industry is that if Amstrad aren't working on a 68,000 base micro, they ought to be. It would be a massive success in an entertainment market which is ripe for such a machine, a market which they will otherwise lose their stake in slowly but surely. In our opinion, the survey is great news for all CPC owners. Your machine is alive and well, and has every prospect of continuing that way for some time, maybe even into the 1990s. Yeah, we know what new system the Amstrad make in the 90s, don't we? We'll find more when we get to that. Yeah, word processor stuff. Printer port patch. Fix your hardware. Absolute Beginners, the second in the series of articles taking you from complete ignorance to complete mastery of BASIC. Colour numbers, all 27 colours. First bites. So hexadecimal horrifies you. We have the solution in the section devoted to the novice machine code programmer. Bar CPM. From freebies to fully priced, Richard Montero gets to grips with the delights of CPM software. Out of the fire, Gary Kildall originally designed CPM in 1974 to run on the 8080 chip. Since then, it's been tailored to work on a multitude of machines, including Z80-based machines like the Amstrad. There are over 100 different computers that can work under the CPM environment. Because so many machines use the standard, implementing existing software on a new computer is relatively painless. Karnov, the well-known fire-breathing Russian, is running, jumping, climbing, swinging, and flying after the lost treasures of Babylon. Countless wacky monsters are out to stop him. Ever snuffed it at the hands of a skeleton on an ostrich? Incorporating 9 levels of gameplay, Karnov is a fast, 4-way scrolling game that combines both strategy and fast action, in which there are many routes to success. Spectrum screens shown. Trademark Incorporated, 1987, Data East USA Inc. Or it's reserved the Electric Dreams software authorized user. Basic word processing, the 5th in a 6-part series by Bill Simister on how to create and use a word processor entirely in BASIC. GBE Rally takes flight. Watch the skies. GBE Rally, joystick gripping, pylon shaving, racing action, speed and spades, trick turns, a swarm of other planes to outfly and outmaneuver or collide with. All in 3 dimensions, because in GBE Rally you race not just next to or around your competition, but over and under them as well. Ooh. Ooh. Created by Steve Cartwright, Gene Smith, Mike Novak, and Russell Lieblich. Trademark Incorporated, 1987, Activision Inc. Amiga, Commodore 64, ZX Spectrum, Amstrad CPC, Commodore 64, 128. Coming soon. Okay. Talking Turtle, basic and logo in parallel. Books. Good news, shows that Logo is more than just a graphical language. Teaches you how to get the best from Logo and Basic. Price goes down a treat. Bad news, not wholly relevant to the CPC machines. You get Logo for your 6128, get CPM Plus, there's a version of Logo on it. In the beginning, both Basic, beginner's all-purpose symbolic instruction code, and Logo were developed during the 1960s. Basic was developed at Dartmouth College, USA, by John Kimeny and Thomas Kurtz in 1964. Seymour Papert, Rollis Fuzig, and Daniel Bobrow, Cambridge, Massachusetts, were responsible for the design of Logo. Basic and Logo were created to make the programming of computers easier. For this reason, they are known as high-level languages. Both are interpreted languages, which means that each line of the program is translated into machine code and then executed. Assembly language programming for the Amstrad CPC 464, 664, and 6128. Good news, excellent book for developing a little knowledge of assembly. Handy hints on how to perform programming feats. Well written and presented. Bad news, a few problems wouldn't have gone amiss. Serious software, full of pep, personal excellence package. Oh, it's got an intelligence test. Oh. Good news, interesting uncovering the truth about yourself. Can check your IQ in private. Certain tests can prove a muse. Okay. Bad news, loses appeal because most of the tests can only be done once. Romantic Robot presents 1988, the year of the robot. Now you can save lower prices. For use with Amstrad CPC 6128, PCW 8256, 8512, 9512, and the Spectrum Plus 3. More than just data. Box of 5 discs, $10.39 excluding VAT. So it's $11.95. Protex grows. New Maxam ROM. 24-pin print power. Oh, look, we've got a Lawmaster. LQ 3500 for Amstrad, £401.35 retail price. Good news! The cheapest 24-pin printer. Near-letter quality printers, good. Large range of type styles and fonts. Superior print quality to DMP printers. Bad news, comparatively slow for 24-pin. Doesn't seem particularly robust. Amstrad's printer comes in at £401 plus a few pennies. Its nearest rival is Epson's LQ850, which costs £625. Many cost upwards of £800. WYSIWYG printing. Screen Master. Good news, what you see is what you get. That's what WYSIWYG stands for. Comprehensive text handling facilities. Good range of printing options. Makes use of 8-bit printer port if you have it. Bad news, limited freehand drawing. Version tested had a couple of bugs. Oh no. Hot tips. Machine code character dump. Yeah. Earthy question. Every time I use my 464 the television goes haywire. I've heard about earthing the computer. How would I do this? Shane Keeley, Mallow. There are two possibilities. One is that your machine is producing a lot of electrical noise on your mains supply. A mains filter will overcome this. Ask your local TV repairman if he can connect one to your Amstrad. Alternatively, your computer, like every other piece of electrical gear, emits radio waves. Now, it could be that these are interfering with your television. You can earth the computer against this more in a moment. To discover the cause of your problems, try plugging in the Amstrad and the television as far away from each other in the same building, so they're on the same electrical supply. If there's little or no interference, it's the radio waves. If there's quite a bit to a lot of interference, it's the mains. Earthing the computer against radio emission means covering it with a metal screen and connecting that to the earth supply. The easiest way to do this is to spray on a layer of conductive paint. Don't try this yourself. Get someone who knows what they're doing. Again, try your local TV repairman. Hey, we got to the games. We got to the games finally. Alright. For the second time in 3 months, digital integration has scooped the Master Game spot. This month's advanced tactical fighter has soared to the heights, with some of the most addictive, demanding, and tactical gameplay ever. An old Master Game, Druid, has been followed by a sequel, Enlightenment, which also rates very highly. It's packed with nasties, spells, and frantic action. This is the first in the Codemasters Plus range, Jet Bike Simulator, the conversion of Taito's arcade game Flying Shark, and a whole host of games from across the channel in France. Here's a list of games. It's actually not a big list, is it? Right, so, yeah, there must be more than that, mustn't there? Yeah, well. We'll get through them. Starting with Flying Shark by Firebird. $8.95 cassette, $14.95 disc, joystick or keys. The battle is drawing to a close and your side looks to be coming out the loser. High Command have one last chance to turn the battle around and you're it. The greatest combat ace of all time. You must go on a lone mission against superior enemy forces. Everyone is depending on you. It's a vertically scrolling shoot 'em up with you in the pilot seat. Ignore the cassette artwork that shows a monoplane. Because you're definitely chugging about in a biplane. On screen is the flying area in the centre with a status panel for each player on either side. The status panel shows your score, lives, and smart bombs. There is a two-player option, but it's not simultaneous action. Oh. There are a variety of enemy air and ground-based units that attack you, trying to bring your mission to a halt. Tanks, planes, and anti-aircraft guns all hurl lead in your direction. Tanks take 2 hits to be destroyed. The first destroys the turret, stopping another stopping them firing, and the second finishes them off. The small planes can either be hit in the engine so that they explode or hit elsewhere, and then they spiral downward to impact the ground. The larger planes take more hits before they explode. Anti-aircraft guns also take several hits to destroy them. There are also the seaborne equivalents of the above enemies, battleships with gun turrets and gunboats. By shooting the right enemy formation, you can get bonus squares. S adds to aircraft's firepower. The B gives you another smart bomb, and the numbered squares give you bonus points. The extra firepower means you fire multiple bullets rather than just a single one. Smart bombs from then on. Smart bombs destroy everything on screen or cause damage on the more resilient obstacles. The extra firepower is crucial for quickly dispensing with the tougher enemies. So make sure you always get hold of it. If you shoot an entire formation of aircraft when the 1-up symbol is flashing, then you gain an extra life. Extra lives are also awarded at 50,000 points, 150,000 points, and from then on every 150,000 points. Every time you lose a life, you're sent back a short way and have to fight your way through again. At various stages, you will run into large obstacles that really take some hammering before they are destroyed. There are enormous tanks, and the battleships, and at the end of level 1, a huge multi-turreted aircraft carrier. At the end of each stage, you land at an airship. Bonus points are awarded according to how many smart bombs you have left, and then you're off again to blast more foes. The graphics are disappointing. They've been ported across from another machine and use very little colour. There's plenty of detail on the backgrounds and weapons, but the lack of colour makes bullets hard to see. Scrolling is smooth and is generally well animated. It is a good title tune, but the effects within the game are poor. It's another in the stream of arcade conversions, but at least it's a fun one to play. A simultaneous 2-player option would have been much appreciated though. First day target score, 75,000 points. Second opinion. Speed is the main problem because the scrolling crawls along at a very slow pace. This isn't particularly serious, but it turns the action into a war of attrition rather than an adrenaline-pumping blast. I like the detailed graphics, but the poor choice of colours was avoidable. It's a good one for progress players trying to discover the dangers that lie in wait and bound to put up a fight for many a long night. Green screen view. Hard to differentiate between colours and objects, particularly when trying to spot incoming bullets. The verdict. Graphics, 56%. Smooth vertical scrolling. Poor use of colour. Sonics, 49%. Nice title tune. Poor in-game effects. Grab factor, 77%. Easy to get into the shoot-'em-up aspects of the game. Frustrating when you're killed by something that you can hardly see. Staying power, 71%. It'll take a lot of blasting before you reach the final objective. Not much variation in gameplay. AI rating, 73%. A demanding blast, but it does lack speed. Let's get started. go. Flying Shark. Correct. Taito Corp 987. Programmed by British Telecom. Firebird presents Flying Shark from Graft Gold Limited. Program by yeah, give me time to read that. Sure. Program by okay, let's just start the game. We've got three-way shots. dickhead tanks are just going to appear out of nowhere right now. Just at the end. Yeah, there he is. Right at the end of the stage. 3 of them. Yeah, it wasn't the end of the stage. Any more? Any more? Oh, finished the first stage somehow. This water effect is kind of mesmerizing. Oof. Oh, power up. Oh no, don't die. Oh, we don't get more than 3. Oh, and we did. I tried to be clever. Back to 1 shot now. Oh, they just comes up from behind without warning, because as they do. Oh, it doesn't kill them. It still didn't kill it. Damn it. Well, we got the first air target score. Oh, missed that. Anyone? Yeah, it's flying shark. I'm gonna repeat that. Getting that far again. About as good as I ever got back in the day. So yeah, we'll move on. I'm sure the maximum firepower you don't get more than 3 shots. Alright. Next game. It's Advanced Tactical Fighter for digital integration. $8.95 cassette, $13.95 disc joystick with keys, all keys. Only 2 months ago, DI slid into the master game slot with Bobsleigh, and now they're flying high again with a combat simulation set in the near future. You're the pilot of the ATF and must seek and destroy enemy targets. It's a combination of flight simulator, arcade game, and tactical war game, and you'll need to perfect all 3 before you become victorious. The screen is split into 2 main areas: a large 3D view of the terrain from slightly above and to the rear of the aircraft, and around this, the instrument panel. The 3D view also has a head-up display HUD at the top, which shows your thrust, speed, altitude, missile type, range and bearing of target, and your bearing. Any other land, sea or air forces in view are shown, as well as any targets. The instrument panel has a short-range scanner, computer, fuel gauge and message window. The short-range scanner shows your position and the direction that you're flying, as well as any friendly or hostile military hardware in the vicinity. The fuel gauge warns of low fuel, and any messages that crop up are displayed in the message window. Last but by no means least is the computer. The computer has 4 operating modes: world map, database, weapon status, and ATF status. The world map shows your position and whatever your computer is locked onto. The weapon and ATF status modes show how much weaponry you have left and the efficiency of the important ATF functions. Database mode is probably the most important, because without this you can't find your friends and foes. Your ATF can be armed with any combination of 3 types of weaponry, and also you need to keep it fueled up. The 3 weapon types are cannon, ASRAAM missiles, and Maverick missiles. Cannon fire is only of use against enemy interceptors. ASRAAM missiles are joystick-guided missiles, and Maverick missiles hit the target that they're locked onto, providing you are roughly facing the target and within range. Sometimes the targets make a couple of missile hits before they're destroyed. There are 2 armies out there, yours and your enemies. Battle between the 2 continues in addition to your own personal effort, but you are the one that can change the fate of the war. This is done by undertaking missions deep into enemy territory, avoiding or better still destroying enemy interceptors, and unleashing a missile on the enemy target. Watch out for SAM missiles too, because one hit from them brings you crashing to Earth. You have 3 ATF and therefore have 3 lives. The 5 types of targets that need to be destroyed are bases, tanks, ships, comm bases, and factories. Bases are where aircraft are launched from. Land and sea forces are blasting away at your allies. Lack of communications means that the enemy forces are less well coordinated. And industrial targets must be destroyed so the enemy doesn't produce any new pieces of military hardware. You also should try your best to defend your allied targets for exactly the same reason. After every mission you receive a war report, which shows gains and losses for both sides. intelligence reports gathered using communications in a bar chart to show the balance of power. The red bars are generally longer than the green, and things aren't going too well for you. Control of the ATF is much simpler than you'd expect for a simulation. There's automatic landing when you are close enough to an Allied airbase, but you do have to manually put down the undercarriage. Another nice feature is the terrain hugging option to keep you below enemy radar. Although if you travel too fast in this mode, you're likely to fly straight into a hill and destroy the aircraft. A beeping sound warns of incoming SAM missiles, and you'd have to jam them quick or be blasted from the skies. The 3D scrolling graphics are magnificent, and the perspective is excellent. Colours used a good effect, with different types of terrain being coloured differently. A pleasing tune greets your ears when you're not flying around, and the effects are snappy. I was pleasantly surprised by this because I expected a flight simulator like Fighter Pilot. Instead, there's much more of a game element. Strategy and arcade-style action have been combined to give a game that has more to offer than a standard shoot-'em-up. Thought and tactical planning are essential for you to do well, and there are 8 skill levels ranging from a rookie pilot up to an ATF ace. If DI keeps on producing games like this, then you've got a bright then you've get a bright games playing future ahead of you. First day target score, win at rookie level. Second opinion, there aren't many games which you just have to have, but this is one of them. To start with, you will be wowed by the graphics reminiscent of combat links, but with great speed. Then you'll be hooked by the amazing gameplay as you fly a few missions. Finally, you'll start picking up the tactics needed to achieve victory in this awe-inspiring masterpiece. This isn't one day wonder. It's a game you can play solidly for weeks, if not months. Green screen view. The actions is easy to see in green as it is in colour, with the exception of the world map. It's colour coded, and as a result it's difficult to tell your enemies from your allies. Just screenshots. Right, verdict. Graphics 82%. Smooth, fast, and flicker-free 3D scrolling. World map is a little tricky to interpret. 82%. Okay. Sonic's 63%. Lovely tune on menu screen. Cracking in-game effects too. Grab factor 93%. Simple control of the plane makes an easy game to get into. Elements of arcade action and strategy combine to appeal to most players. Staying power 95%. 8 skill levels to play on. Missions are always long and eventful. Winning the war is an immense challenge. AA rating 94%. DI do it again with yet another piece of superb software. Okay. Okay, it's I remember because I've streamed this game before. We'll need the codebook to get through the copy protection. Code sheet, here it is. Alright. Yeah, the Alcatraz protection system. ATF. So you got this copy protection as well as the security code copy protection. Security code 412. 412. 490. Hall of Fame. You got a high school table. Stick with Rocky. Sound effects. Tune plus sound effects. Analyzing war data. War report. Intelligence. Enemy land forces identified. Enemy database. Enemy land force identified. Enemy database. Right. I'm going to have to look up what the keys are, aren't I? I certainly seem to have forgotten. Ah, here we go. Nice thrust. G for gear. Indicators. G for undercarriage. Scrap there wasn't a good guy I hit. Oh. I'm gonna look up these. Pause. Oh no, it's not pausing. I'm doing weird things now. Use game over pause. Now, why is F5 not working? F5 is supposed to pause. Oh. No. Input settings. User interface. Where's pause? F5. Not left shift or not right shift. Oh, it's right there. Why is F5 not working? Oh, I'm going to hear farts. I guess we'll look up this. Quick reference. Amstrad keys. L's automatic landing. Oh, got an automatic landing. That's handy. Train following. J's to jam. See a select computer screen. D to select allied or enemy database. E to select database category. F is forward step, reverse step, whatever that means. Nearest target and category. So return as database lock on. M is launch a missile. N is select missile type. Alright. Alright. Did I cycle through enemies here? E. Oh, E, F, R. That's probably what that's for. I probably should have done this before I got in the air. Yeah. Check these. Check the keys again. Yes, target and category. Whoops. How do I select something not a base? Mm-hmm. Where did you press return? Go and shoot stuff, I guess. Ah! E! Here we go. What? I thought I pushed that before. I got tank here. Oh, you got tanks. Okay. 119 now. Number 4. Too low. Ow, 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 ow. Ow, ow, ow. This whole thing, everything's happening at once. Missed it. Missed it. Run around again. Too late again. Turn around again. Try to hit one target. Get it. Target hit and destroy. Perfect. Base. Get back to base and refuel and shit. If we can actually land this thing. This way. Around this way. terrain. We'll do this automatically. Ah! Well, it didn't work so well. Mission over. 80th plane destroyed. 2 craft remaining. Victory identified. See that target first. Factory. What's this factory? It's going to shoot back or something. It's not far off either. Oh, past it. Oh, missed it. Turn around. Oh, missed. Let's go to it from a bigger distance. I know what the range is. Right. Change that for. There's a nearest target like this. change missiles again? Uh, there we go. That has been destroyed. We'll find this tank and destroy that. Oh, there it is. The other is past it. No, it's not. I thought it was a tank for some reason. It's leading that direction. Missed. Turning around. Turning around. Here we go. Actually, okay. Right face. Let's get there. Now maybe this has an automatic landing thing. Yeah, over me. My only character's still down. Ah, right from me. As fast as we can. Yeah, right from me. I think I rammed into it because it crashed. Oh, my thrust is going even slower now. I think that means we're almost dead. Ah. The right direction now. Going slowly now. I'm going to carriage back down before we forget. Because we're going to be late. Oh. That might have been a bad idea. Well. Last attempt. Let's go find something to destroy and try to get back. Where's the enemy base? Let's go destroy that. Be quicker. Damn it, get off me. Get off me. Oh, look at that. Target hit and damaged. We have to go back and take another shot at it. Oh, missed. Ow, 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 get off me. Ow, 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 ow. I'm trying to destroy shit here. Get everything. Pass it again. There we go. Well, we almost did again. Let's see. 61 degrees. Going to limp back again. The carriage is still down. Let's go back up. Again, bring it back up. Alright. Be worse. Can we do automatic landing from here? Let me check the automatic landing button again. It's L, isn't it? Yes. Can we make it? Oh, big worse. Can we make it back? Ah! No, that's... Game over. 1,315 points. Performance poor. Sounds about right. This is the easiest difficulty. Great score! We're at the bottom. Come on. Right, on to the next game. Right. Next. Next game is Enlightenment. Druid II. By Firebird. $8.95 cassette, $14.95 disc, joystick or keys. In the original Druid Master Game in issue 15, Hashran defeated the evil Akamantor and 4 demon princes. Over 100 years have passed since Akamantor's defeat, and during that time Hashran has learnt much of Druid magic. He'll need all his new power now because Akamantor has risen again, and with him have come the demon princes once more. The once happy population of the lands of Belorn have become zombies, the undead, and walk through the lands in a mindless state at the whim of Akamantor. You have no choice but to seek out and kill Akamantor and his evil minions. Oh. Players of the original will instantly recognise the style of game, with its 4-way scrolling playing area and hordes of nasties. The stats panel has moved from the top of the screen down to the bottom, and changed considerably in its contents. There's still this energy bar that is depleted when you bump into creatures. There's also the energy bar for your golem and the ratings bar that increases as you solve more of the game. The additions include a bolt indicator that shows how much charge you have to fire electrical bolts. The lower the charge, the slower your rate of fire. There's also a message window and 8 spell windows. The message window gives you information about your surroundings and what's happening. The spell windows show which spells you're carrying in your spell book. Druid has 8 levels of dungeon-style landscape to battle through. This time there are 15 levels in all, but you can move about freely around them. 10 of the levels make up the land of Belorn, ranging from the icy wastes and burning deserts to the swamps and dark caverns. The other 5 levels are Akamantor's Tower, which is surrounded by a moat, with no apparent means to cross it. In Druid, there are only a handful of spells, but in this there are 32 different ones. They range from mundane spells like door opening and lightning bolts, to the potent Deathland and White Orb spells. Deathland and its companion Deathlight are needed to kill a demon prince, while the White Orb is needed to kill Akamantor. Other spells restore your health, neutralize poison, create magic walls, give invisibility, provide protection, repel nasties, or give information. Ooh, poison, that's a thing to add. The walls can seal the sections of the land and kill creatures in their path. The repellent spells are Turn Away and Crucifix, which makes your foes flee before you. One of the most useful is a Resurrection spell, which when cast creates a grave. If you subsequently die, then you will emerge from the grave refreshed and ready to continue your struggle. Your faithful servant, Golem, who can be controlled by a second player, is back again. This time he's brought some friends from other elemental planes of air, fire, and water. Wisp, Phoenix, and Kraken are their names, and they are as dedicated to serving as Golem. Take care when you take your elementals because they don't survive long if taken to a place too alien to them. Phoenix doesn't last long in water, and Kraken dies quickly in the desert. To select which spell you wish to cast, you simply press the appropriate number and hit space. It's usually a good idea to keep the spell pointer on a food or wine spell in case your energy gets too low. A quick press of the key and you're much healthier. You can also discard spells if you want to. There are no tunes in this game, and sound effects are not exciting either. The scrolling is smooth, and the graphics are well animated. On some levels, the elemental or druid is tough to pick out against a similarly coloured background. Whenever a sequel comes out, it usually fails to live up to the expectations, but this is an exception. The extra spells and bigger playing area make it a much more demanding game. There's also a detailed instruction manual with all the spell definitions and brief scenario. The option for a second player controlling the elemental is useful, but the second player has little to do. He's just an assistant to the druid rather than being an independent player. If you like druid, then you'll love this. If you didn't, then give us a kick away. Give us a look away anyway. Second opinion. Well, first their target score achieved the rating of Earth Lord. Second opinion. The sound effects, whether accidental or intentional, are amusing and very apt. The noises are akin to tiny insects scurrying along the ground. All other aspects of the game have been just as carefully seen to. Detailed graphics, demanding gameplay, and large gaming area. It's a cracker. Green screen view. Sometimes the Druid or his elemental disappear into the background, but no more so than on a colour screen. The verdict. Graphics 78%. Bright colour graphics. Sometimes the background and the Druid are a little too close in colour. Sonics 38%. Average sound effects and no tunes. Grab factor 84%. Has all the addictive qualities of Druid and more. 2-player option. Staying power 89%. 15 levels of arcade action to go through. More thought needed because of the greater number of spells. AA rating 87%. An admirable sequel. Let's get started here. Now this game messes with the CITC quite a bit, so we have to use Retro Virtual Machine for this one. Oops. Wrong one. There we go. Load disk. Reload the disk. Here we go. And we want to joystick emulation. Off we go. Yeah. One thing I noticed also is that it also breaks if you use different type of CITC as well. Only works with type 0. It's very flickery without it. Hey Left MD, we're about to play Druid II. Oh, we've got zombies already. Oh no, we wander around. Can't go up there, huh? Druid on waterfall, Druid on waterfall, Druid on key. What does that even mean? Let's go wondering. key. Ah, right. Space also fires. Hmm. And because it's selecting them, but it doesn't. Check something here. Yeah, space also does fire. That's the just accumulation. This is fun. So it was. Do I have to get a controller out and? Is there a pause? Is there pauses? I think, isn't there? Keys discarded. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, pauses. Escape is pause. Okay. Joystick. This will have one handy. Hopefully it works if I just plug it in and I don't need to restart the emulator. I'll be that lucky or something. Oh, here we go. Game controller connected. Good. Okay. Now space should hopefully work, right? Oh, we discarded the key. It's what I think I'll do is can we restart? It's taking far too long to kill me. Druid is on key. What does it even mean? It's just meant to be informational. I have no idea. The village of Ismar. I think I need to restart. It's probably just going to be quick if I just reset and reload. Just reload. Speed it up. Here we go. And oh, I haven't switched it over, have I? Here we go. Now that would help. That would help a lot. Okay. Now hopefully I've figured everything out. So I don't know what these do. They're just informational or not. Can't cast. Okay. Okay. awkward to do, but whatever. Yeah, you could have a second player control the golem if you wanted to. I think that was in the original game as well, so... Another key. Does standing on these do anything? Pick any... Can we... What am I going to do? I am going to look up the manual. Just to make sure. Good, got English instructions. Playing the game. UI. That's not correct. Spell selection is the number keys. They're using spectrum controls again. Take spell. Cap shift. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Instructions for another system. That's useful. Okay. It says, oh, maybe it's caps lock, so let's try it. It does not. Let's discard if I move backspace. This is a French manual. Maybe that will. Maybe that will give me the keys I want. It won't be French spectrum instructions, would they? Well, it doesn't even give you controls at all. It's not even complete. It just gives you the spells. That's useless. Let's look elsewhere. French. Oh, it gives the controls. It gives the controls. Clear. Is it the clear button? Let's find out, I guess. No. The clear button even defined. Is the clear button defined, I wonder? That's the question. Oh! Aha! It's a good sound effect. Okay. Delete is the key to use for clear. This is awkward moving from... Another key here. Switch to that. Okay. And here. Yeah, I'm a lot more familiar with the first Druid game myself. I had a demo version and it's play that a lot. So I'm intimately familiar with the second level of Druid and no other level. Walking on fire is probably a bad idea. Ooh, another thing. Definitely. Oh, I haven't got any more room, have I? So 5, we can use that. Village of Ishmael. There you go. Now I have Deathland. Okay. Oh, it's dark here. Get away from here. Oh, it's another more things. Key, it's another key. Let's use the armor. Turn. I need a key to go in here, do I? Yes, I do. Have everything attack you while you're trying to fumble with the keys. Handy. Bridge of Ishmael. Oh, is this all it does? That's not very useful. Banquet. Let's use the food I've already got here. See this way. Slimes. Ah, hands! Oh, it's cracking. Let's activate Golem. There he is. Oh. Not sure how the commands work for him, but lightning. Hey, Golem is a lot more annoying. Punch you through that. What does this do? There, Golem can stay there for you now. I'm cracking. Lightning. Let's try lightning. I'm not sure what it did. What's up here? Nothing. Okay, shots are stronger. Okay, water does seem to... recharge. I need food. Not the lightning. Death light. key. Isn't here? Sage. Oh, it doesn't look ominous. Oh, jeez. Like a wall. Hard to tell where we can go. Bridge. Just nothing. We gotta eat. Dying. I'm dying. And yep. Blah blah blah. Druid dies. Gabians. Rating as Ear Shaman. So is that better or worse than Earth Lord? I have no idea. Fire to play. Try again. Now we know to pick things up. Yeah, we don't need to. We just go down through here. We don't need the key. There's this other area over here. Let's go up. Oh. Can't squeeze through that gap. Why? That's what it does, huh? Oh, kills him. Banquet. What's here? I'm sure I'll die if I go across the water. What was the thing in the previous game? Are you more keys? Was this colourful? key. Wine. What be fame of fungi? What? Antidote. What does Deathland do? That kills everything. And blinds you at the same time. That's handy. And the fungi come alive too. Yeah, indeed. Oh, it's poisoned. I didn't even notice. Oh, jeez. Earth Shaman. That's not Earth Lord. Is that close enough? Oh well. Anyway, we'll move on from there. No, my native language is English. It's about the only language I know outside of computer languages. It's anyway, but still, it's a. Let's see where we next. Got time for one more game. It's let's go out at a terrible game. Give us Tour de Force by Gremlin, $9.99 cassette, $14.99 disc, joystick or keys. Get on your bike and pedal your way through 5 legs of a worldwide race. You have 11 riders to race against and a time limit to beat. Can you win every leg and become the winner of the International Grand Prix cycling race? The screen is made up of a horizontally scrolling landscape of the country that you're currently in with a status panel around it. The status panel shows your position, time elapsed, temperature, and a map of the route. If your rider gets too hot, then he collapses of heat exhaustion and your race is over. You also lose if you finish the race anywhere but in first place, run out of bikes, or exceed the time limit. To stop overheating, you have to ride into bottles or glasses of liquid that appear along the course. Crashing your bike into one of many different obstacles that you'll find on the route makes you lose one of your 5 lives. If you manage to win a race, then it's on to the next country for the next leg of the race. What seems strange is that instead of having to go back to the starting course in Japan, you're sent to the start of the race that you just failed to complete. On later courses, your opponents resort to kicking you off your bike, but you can retaliate in the same manner. Slow and jerky scrolling feature heavily, and the graphics are very badly animated too. If you're wondering which bike is yours, it's simple. It's the white bike in amongst the other 11 white bikes. Before each race, a short snatch of the country's national anthem is played. There are no sound effects in the game itself. This has loads of features that make for a bad game. Horrible graphics, virtually no sound, and boring gameplay. Gremlin have let themselves down with this one. Let's hope they can get back onto games of the likes of Deflector. First day target score, 5,000 points. Second opinion, £10 for this is ridiculous. It wouldn't even cut it as a budget title. The gameplay is hopelessly simple. The graphics are dreadful, particularly in the colour department. The in-game sound is non-existent. Avoid it. Green screen view. No more difficult identifying your bike in green than in colour. Yeah, still no distinguishing marks. The verdict. Graphics 37%. Terrible horizontal scrolling. Poor use of colour. Sonics 36%. Nice tunes at the start of the race. and no sound on the game itself. Grab factor 23%. Fun kicking your opponent off their bikes. Not being able to distinguish your bike is stupid. Staying power 18%. You'll complete it in under an hour. Oh. Courses are much the same. AA rating 20%. A bad conversion of a poor original. Okay. Something to look forward to, I guess. Alright. Get started. Oh, it's one of these. I don't need a controller plugged in anymore. Back to using the keys again. I'm sure this did run. This is certainly taking its time. I tested this beforehand. I think MAME's locked up here. How did that happen? Yeah, it's completely locked up. Force close. Why am I recording it? No wonder it's not working. Huh. No wonder that didn't work. Try it again. Messing up my command line here. That's by CPM. Okay. Now it should work. Right. Here we go. Tour de force. Gremlin graphics. Welcome to this year's Tour de Force. Join me along the way in the heat of this year's action. Oh, it just stops. Gremlin Tour de Force. Program Tim Miller. Music Ben Daglish. Graphics John Harrison, Kevin Bulmer. Joystick. High scores. Japan. On your marks. They shit us in the back. He's gonna shit us in the back. Okay, I'm the one right at the top left here. Okay, I crashed already. That's good. Good start. Let him laugh. All them crash. He's having a good old time. Yeah, what are these? What are these things? Oh. Oh, yeah, ramp. Oh, I missed the bottle. Oh, geez. Oh, what? We got sumo wrestler on the track here. Okay. It's this dude. Oh no. There's people just walking across this track here. Oh. Ninth. These are disgusted. Game over. You finished ninth. You gotta finish first. First or nothing. Try again. On your marks. Get ready. Shit us in the back again. Oh, jeez, come on. Oh, jeez. You go so far front to to get any speed up, and you're gonna catch up. Go. Ran out of bikes. No more cycles. Yeah, Amstrad Action is a British magazine. It was published from 1985 until 1995. We're on issue 31 of 117. So we're looking at good games at the moment. They're really, quote, good games. Try again. Japan. Go. Fourth. Are you making progress? Oh no. Can I just stay up here? Are you going to be safe up here? Oh, in first. I'm in first. Let's protect this. Oh, did I run out of heat exhaustion? Because of course, we'll finish first eventually. On your marks. Get set. Oh, get ready. Go. Fourth. I need to speed up more. See, there's not many obstacles at the front. I need to get some drink before I die of heat exhaustion. Okay, I'm in first again. Oh, ooh. Oh no. made it, we made it, we made it, we made it. Yeah! Ah! You won the league. Go to France. Side 2 of disc. It's a side 2. Okay, it's a side 2. France. Yeah, are we loading or what? Or did we crash or something stupid? I think we crashed. Didn't like switching discs. Well, I think we had enough of the game.